Hey, welcome back to another Mind the Mic podcast. I'm your host, Shubz, here with a special guest in the building, all the way from Perth, via Angola originally, and a few other places. My man, Universal, what's goody, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nah, it's another day, as I said before, but another day, another 100 podcasts. No, it's just five today, so not too crazy, but yeah, it's been
Still
good.
a
It's been good,
lot.
brother. But yeah,
Yeah.
putting in their work. This will be like by the time it comes out, unless you need it earlier, probably be like 2:30 or something like that in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 months. So we've been working at it. 230 odd podcasts in like 5 months.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
And 230 of value too, brother. Not just 230 willy nilly out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
That brings
I've
some
peeped.
value to the world.
Yeah, I've peeped a few, man, and it's a good conversation, man. I'm speaking on some good stuff, you know.
Yeah, hard. And we're about to have another right now, my brother. So for anybody that doesn't know who you are and all the rest of it, can you give us a little synopsis, a little quick
All
background on the
right.
uni?
Just quickly, first and foremost, I'm a father.
Yes.
Um, I have two children, and that's my life, man. That's what I do. That's what I live for. Um, Secondly, I'm a partner. I've been with my wife for 17 years.
Whoa.
Um, yeah, so she's a very important part of my life. Um, and thirdly, I am a musician. I make music. I love sound in general, man. I rap. You know, I've been rapping for a long time, and yeah, that's what I do, bro. I just have fun, and I I sort of seek therapy through my music. You know what I
Yeah, no, that's
mean?
beautiful, brother. Shout out to the therapy, man,
Yeah, yeah,
and
bro.
it definitely can be therapeutic, right? Like,
Fuck oath, yeah.
yeah, understandable. It's a good outlet, music or whatever your art form or whatever you find, and obviously, rap is that for you. Um, Obviously born in Angola, right? Am I right
Yes,
there?
yes. I was born in Angola, 1985.
Yeah,
Stayed there for a couple of years, and we pissed off to, I believe, Denmark in Europe,
yeah.
which is where my father's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we stayed there for, I don't think it was more than 9 to 11 months.
Mm.
Um, and then we came to Australia, stayed in Karratha for the first few years, and then down to Perth, and I've been here ever since.
Wow. So pretty much what growing up in the 90s here in Perth.
Yeah, bro, the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You would have seen
what
this
a
place
time.
change, didn't it? Perth
Oh yeah,
itself.
for sure. Like yeah, when I was a kid, man, like going into the city and shit like that, it looked nothing like it looks like today. You know, like today they've done a really good job at making it look fancy, for lack of a better word. You know, but yeah, back in the day it was real simple, man. You know, you had your couple of skyscrapers. You know, the whole Elizabeth Quay was not there.
Yeah, didn't exist.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it was different back then. It was a much simpler time, you know.
Wait,
Mm.
what hood did you? I guess where did you move to or
North
grow up? At?
side, bro. North
Just
side.
all around.
North side, yeah. Craigie, Belden,
Craig.
and Heathridge.
Oh yeah.
They were the three areas, all suburbs right near each other. That we moved around. Like we moved around a lot. Probably been in, wow, 7 to 10 houses. Just always moving, growing up. You
Oh,
know.
just as a child before you even
Yeah,
became a
just
little.
just as a child, we were always renting, and then we'd move from a rental to another one, move from another one, and that happened till I think I didn't stay in a house for over 4 years. You know, 4 years max. And
Hmm.
then when I moved to Heathridge, I think that house I stayed in for 5 years, and that was the longest time I'd ever been in a house. You know, before. So Heathridge holds a special place in my heart because I did a lot of my teenage years there through high school and
Oh
made a
yeah.
lot of friendships and, you know, kicking up dust, fucking being a kid, you know. So um, that was cool.
Who were your? Because obviously rap's an outlet for you, but who were your like musical influences back then?
Um, you know, the same answer, the generic answer, but it's the truth. It's the
Yeah.
truthful answer for me. You know, your Snoop Dogs, Dog Pound, Tupac,
Yeah.
Biggie, Nas, all them dudes. They were massive in the '90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
these days, the kids these days, they look at them, they know they're the greats, but they don't understand what they did and what it was like back then. You know what I mean?
At the time.
Oh, bro, it was a magical time to be alive.
So what age do you remember? Like, what's your first age that you remember, like hip hop, or like really being into it?
First age I remember hip hop I was probably about 9.
Okay.
I remember hearing. I was at a friend's house. I used to have a friend that lived down the street from me, a couple of houses down the street, and I'd always run down to his house and we'd play some ball out the front or whatnot. He had an older brother. His name was Brett, and I used to hear these, this booming sound coming from his room all the time. I could just hear that bass pump, and I remember always thinking to myself, "What the fuck is that?" And then one day I walked in his room and opened the door, and he was playing. This was 1994, and he was playing Doggystyle by Snoop Dogg.
Oof.
And that there blew my fucking mind, bro. And I did everything and anything I could to get to the CD shop. Well, sorry, CDs weren't out back then.
The tape
shop.
Yeah,
I copped that cassette, man, and it was amazing, bro. And I probably shouldn't have been listening to it at that age, but it fucking blew my mind, man. There was something about it that just the sound, bro, was crazy.
Yeah. So, what was it like? So you're that age, but what kind of music had you listened to before that?
So my parents were into, because we had moved to Australia and sort of, took in the vibe here, you know what I mean? The radio and all that shit. They would listen to Aussie rock shit,
but a Cold Chisel.
Yeah, Cold Chisel, fucking Mondo Rock, all that sort of shit. So, I heard a lot of that shit growing up, but also my old man was a big fan of Tina Turner. My old lady was a big fan of Sade. So there was some soul in the house too. You know what I mean? So, Mum always kept a little Casio keyboard, little piece of shit Casio thing in the house. But
did you jam on that, brother?
Yeah, well, that was my first musical experience. Besides listening to hip hop, I'd go in there and I didn't know what I was doing, but I'd be jamming on it. Found out that there was drums. I could change the keys so they sounded like drums, and so I always had an ear for the music because of that. But yeah, that Doggystyle shit, bro. That's what really switched me onto this hip hop shit, man. And I had no understanding of what it was, if you opened up the little cassette thing and looked at the booklet, it was just pictures, as you know, on Doggystyles, pictures of a dog and all that shit. Yeah. Rude pictures too. So that was oh yeah, what's going on there? But yeah, so I had no concept of who they were, or I didn't know who Dr. Dre was. All I knew was this dude was rapping and it sounded dope. I didn't even know what the N-bomb was, I heard him say it, but I was too young, everything he spoke on that shit just sounded cool to me, and I rolled with it, and ended up in my room, pushing play on the tape player, listening to a few bars, pushing pause, writing the bars down, pushing play again, writing the bars. So I literally wrote that whole album out, while I was a kid, and
at 9 years old, 10 years old, around then.
10 years old, so it's I still can recite that whole album off the top, because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy, brother.
Yeah.
And so, did you have anybody around you at the time that was
doing the same
thing or rapping or anything?
Nah, no one at all. I all the friends I had in school and shit, I tried to show them, but instead, me thinking that they'd love it too, but instead of them loving it, they sort of teased me for listening to it.
Oh, true. Was that what it was like here back then?
Yeah, Australia was different back then, bro. And I don't, people can try to tell you different, bro, but this is my experience.
Yeah.
Hearing hip hop and then getting older and being hip hop, being fully immersed in the culture, the style, the clothing, the swag, the way I walk, the way I talk, people didn't like that shit back then. No one liked it, bro. Walk down the street with my baggy pants and my do-rag or my beanie, and cunts would hang out the window and be like, yo, homie.
Oh, yeah. Just taking
shit like that, Yeah. But
Uh,
I loved it, bro. I loved it, and I lived that shit, man. I still do.
yeah, 100%. This it's crazy, yeah, because now like hip hop, well, like mainstream wise, it's like it's become popular music in a lot of ways, brother. So like it's
Well,
compared to what it
it's
was in the 90s and even the early
yeah,
2000s, it wasn't
yeah.
what it
Well, it's
is.
not it's
It's
not
not the
hip hop
same either.
anymore. Yeah,
No, no, of
it's
course, but like
it's
the
pop
roots.
music now.
Yeah, yeah, it's popular music, exactly. But the
Yeah,
roots of it, the roots of what it is today comes from, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Obviously, fruit, just like every thing in life, these evolutions, everything in the world, these evolutions, and whether
yeah,
you
bro.
agree with it or not, I think it's yeah, it's crazy because like they sell out concerts and shit. But obviously, maybe if they were coming here in those days, maybe
Yeah,
not. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean,
That's-
not only did hip hop get massive, bro, but hip hop became the backbone, the concrete slab for the whole music industry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it did. It became this powerhouse where everyone wanted to use that sound. You know, artists. Or I don't know if you remember, but in the mid to late '90s and even early 2000s, an artist that needed to come out, the labels would break them with a hip hop sounding song. You know, for example, Pink. Do you remember when she dropped?
Oh, what was her first? What was her first hit? What was the first ones? Was she?
It was a real hip hoppy R&B sounding joint.
I remember she did sound like that early days,
Yeah,
early doors
yeah,
for
and
sure. Yeah, I do remember that.
hip hop was such a huge influence, and they knew it. The whole world grabbed onto it, and if you wanted to put out a new artist, they had to come with a hip hop R&B joint first because they knew that would sell, and then some years later they could start being themselves and release music more what they wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, hip hop is it's massive, bro. It's crazy to think me listening to that shit back then, and then looking at what's going on today. It's amazing.
Yeah, hard and hip hop. Obviously, people like yourself don't need to be told, but there's people out there that don't realize that hip hop's not just music; it's a culture. Like there's four
Yeah, bro.
elements to the damn thing. Well,
Yep. Fuck yeah.
like the obviously there's the DJing, there's the MCing. Like they just think of the MCing, the music as the only part of hip hop, but obviously the art as well.
Yeah, bro.
Graffiti, all that good stuff, and
Yep.
even like you said, the clothes we wear and the dancing. That's all hip hop, bro. So like.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know, 100%,
Yeah.
brother. The influence
Fucking yeah.
is out of this world. I think it's interesting to be you being, coming from Angola. Is your mother Angolan or?
Mother's Angolan, father's
Angola.
Danish.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. So even that, bro, like hip hop as a culture, it's funny because people, wherever they are in the world, they wanna, whether you call it a vibe or a culture, they create their own, right? And
Yeah.
people obviously created what we know as hip hop because they had their culture stripped away from them, brother. I look at it like that too,
Yeah,
which
bro.
is
Yeah. They didn't have anything really.
nah,
So they made something out of nothing, and it became the
100
biggest thing on the planet.
on the planet, baby.
It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy, brother. Amazing, and obviously, like you said, it's been your life first and foremost, father, husband, but hip hop has been your, in a way, probably your best friend. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, bro. It has. It
yeah.
has. It's never left me. You know what I mean? So it's been with me since the start, and now I'm a grown ass man with a family of my own, and
Mm.
it's still here.
Hey, shout out, man! Big,
Yeah,
big,
bro.
big love to hip hop, cuz. Hey.
Big love, and not just hip hop, man. Hip hop did this too. I've made a lot of friendships along the way because of hip hop. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
of the hip hop music and the hip hop culture, and people want jumping in and being involved in the culture, and you meet like minded people, and it's an amazing thing if you dive into it and really think about it. It's huge, man. It affects everyone's life, and it's like you said, some people just think of it as music.
Mm.
Like some niggas is just spitting bars, and
Yeah,
like
that's what they think about.
yeah, but it's way more than that, man. It's a special thing.
Even people just think, oh, it's just dudes talking. Like, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know if anybody's ever tried to rap out there, but like, or try to record a little song, but like, you know what I mean? You gotta develop your voice, man. Your
Yeah, bro.
inflections, all of that stuff, cuzzy. It's not just talking. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
It might be that at the start, but you
Yeah,
slowly
yeah.
realise I'm building up to something else. Like
Yeah. I remember hearing that a lot from, I guess, growing ups or people that were older than me back home, back in New Zealand, and ones that didn't, I guess, understand, because it's a language, right? And if you don't understand the
yeah,
language, it just sounds like fucking noise. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if you speak Chinese, brother, but if you're in a
yeah,
restaurant and they're speaking Chinese, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. You know what I mean? They could be just talking shit about me, but I don't care either if they are. But you know what I mean?
yeah, I
He like
feel
literally
it,
it just sounds like noise. So I guess that like a lot of the older generation that weren't into it didn't understand this because they didn't understand the language at all. You know what I mean? They didn't
hmm
understand all these little words that like make up
yeah,
all the reasoning behind it, or they just saw it as like yeah, like obviously listening to a lot of the mainstream, which was because the only ones that they would put on blast would be obviously getting closer like later in the 90s Eminem, but you go back NWA,
yeah,
Ice-T,
yeah,
like they're like, oh, it's just bad music, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
only bad music, but like you
And
said,
then,
it's
that's what my mother heard. Like when she caught wind of what I was listening to. You know what I mean? Like she shut that shit down real quick because like I said, we talk about first thing I ever bought was the Doggystyle cassette.
hmm
And I'd sit in my room alone and play that at a low volume because I knew my old lady didn't want to hear no swear words and all that shit. She's a pretty strict
yeah.
woman. Um, and what would happen was I'd play side A, I'd play side B, and then I'd turn that shit around and ready for side A the next day again. You know what I mean? And one day my mum came in the room and she was like, "What's this shit you've been listening to?" Because she could hear a little bit or whatever, and she pushed play on that side A. And I don't know if you know what the first song or what that sounds like, the intro on the Doggystyle LP.
But I can't remember. I mean, like I had it as a young buck. But yeah, you
Yeah.
go.
Well, it's a skit, right?
Mhm.
You remember the skit with Snoop Dogg and he's in the bathtub with the chick?
Yeah, I remember now. I remember now.
Yeah, so mum caught like 10 seconds of that and I got my ass beat down, boy. She was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" She's fucking snapped that shit in front of me and everything. I was fucking gutted.
Fuck, true. And so,
Mm.
how long had you had this by then?
I'd had it for a while. I can't remember exactly. It was a long time ago, but I'd had it for a while. But yeah,
Yeah,
she found that shit and she snapped that right up.
but you already wrote the lyrics down anyway,
Oh yeah,
boy.
no, I'd been on it, yeah, and like, and from that album, you bounce around, you hear some of the guys on there, and you see their names, and you sort of see that shit. Back in the day, you go into Sanity or Tracks or whatever you had back then,
Sanity.
and you'd see that name and you'd go, "Oh, that's the dude." Like another one I got real early was Coolio.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I copped his tape really early as well, and he was dope. And then he blew up with the Gangsters Paradise and all that shit. So yeah, that like, and from Snoop, obviously went Dr. Dre and then Dog Pound, Dog Food from Dog Pound Gangsters back in '96, I think it was '95 maybe.
hmm
That album is probably one of my all-time favorite albums. Like,
True.
yeah, musically, man, that can't be fucked with. You play that today on a big stereo, and sonically, it's better sounding than any music you get today. Yeah, it's
What's the best
amazing.
way to listen to music? Do you think?
What's that?
What's the best way to listen to music?
Best way to listen to music is for me um, in the car, bro.
In the car. That's the
In the
spot, eh?
car. In the car, because in the car you just vibing, bro, and you feel free. You're going wherever you want to go. You're in an enclosed capsule, so no sound escapes, unless you got the windows down, so you can hear everything, you can feel everything, um, and you get mesmerized at the best of times just driving. You know what I mean? You're in a trance sort of thing, just driving around. So I
I
think
see what
that
you. That's
yeah,
the vibe for you.
that mood that you're in, it allows the music to sink in a bit more. You know what I mean?
So is Dog Pound your all-time album?
I'm gonna put it up there, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
there's too much to actually tell you. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that dog food, that
Yeah, but
album
for
is,
you, those two.
yeah, for me, yeah, I reckon dog food, and I know everyone loves Illmatic, but I love It Was Written.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Why it was
it
written
was.
over Illmatic?
I just feel like I feel like Illmatic, he was very young and he was finding his flow, finding his voice.
Yeah.
And by the time It Was Written came around, he was like magnum opus. He was at his pinnacle. You could hear it. He was very confident. You know, his beat selection was on point. The whole fucking album. Yeah, it's just a nice album for me, bro.
And like, you think about it too, like, bro wasn't that old either. We're talking about Nas now, not Snoop. Anybody that don't know, you know, he wasn't that old at the time either, you know.
Bro, when he did Illmatic, he was what, 16, 17 recording?
Bro, young.
Yeah, young as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and if you to choose a song off there, like, you know, is the only song you could listen to for the rest of your life.
Oh, bro, what's that? I don't even know the titles, bro. I don't even know the titles. Let me have a quick look. I'll tell you. I know what song it is.
You do your thing, brother.
But yeah, man, and for him to be winning Grammys now, that's crazy. You know, he should have won a Grammy for either Illmatic or It Was Written, right?
I mean,
yeah,
but it's Grammys, cause like, you know what I mean. It's
Hey, look, the message is always
the
good.
message.
Yeah, the message is always good.
That's track 2, eh? The message
and shootouts.
All right. There you go, fam. There you go.
Yeah.
So maybe we just combine those two for my man on repeat. The message, bro. A lot of people, like, obviously Nas is in a lot of people's, you know what I mean, sphere of influence when it comes to dope rappers of all time. I still feel like he's slipped on too, like, you know what I mean. I still feel like he is, brother. Like, you know.
Well, that's what happens when you start beef with one of the other biggest businessmen in hip hop. You know what I mean? You get slept on.
Oh, sorry. Well, just looking.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just trying to see you. There you are. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. It's nice, brother. Nice on. Yeah, because there was a nice little swift little transition from Dog Pound to Nas, brother. So people that don't know would be like, "Oh, like Dog Pound got an album called It Was Written," and
no, you know, I'll bounce around like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think of the year and the time and what was happening and what I was listening to, and I'll just go, "Yeah, that was there. That was there." You know, like, I mean, remember GoldenEye 007 on the old Nintendo 64?
Oh, the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, like we used to, you know, me and the boys at school and she used to play that on the weekends and all that shit. And the going back to Dog Pound, Dog Food was the soundtrack for me to that game. You know what I mean? Like I'd have Dog Food pumping in the background every time I played that game. So every time I think of GoldenEye, I think of Dog Pound, and every time I think of Dog Pound, I think of GoldenEye. You know, so it's crazy, man. It was, you know, these were a few years later, but it's like it all just meshes into one for me, you
know. Crazy time, brother. Yeah.
Right. 90s were killer, man.
Yeah, and like I had I don't know if you know the Mizza, but I had him on the other day, a couple weeks ago, bro. Very influential in hip hop. I don't. Did you catch that episode at all?
Who was that?
He's so he was voted by Sources before when Source was still around as the 4th most powerful man in hip hop, person in hip hop, like behind the scenes. He pretty much, bro, he cultivated a lot of what we knew. Like he put a lot of the biggest artists together. Like he was behind, like when you talk about Dog Pound, bro, like you remember This Is Where I Want to Be, obviously Nate Dogg, Shade Shice, that was on his actual album. He was like the original DJ Khaled, like originally.
Oh wow.
So to be on, bro, he put it. So he, Khaled doesn't rap or anything, but he puts
Yeah,
everybody on. Yeah, on. Yeah, compiles the music. Yeah, that was sort of him. But he was the program director of Power 106 in LA at the time,
Okay.
and at that time when radio was the powerhouse. You know what I mean? Like, so if you wanted the records to be broken or whatever, you'd go through him, and program director means you run the show. But they had 30 other radio stations throughout America, and I think Hot 97 was included in it. One of the, I think it was Hot 97. There was one of the other was their other one, brother. Which is on the East Coast, and so like even things like, which it was not hip hop, but it's obviously helped push it to the world. Something like Heartbreaker. Speaking of Jay-Z, like in Mariah Carey, he put them in the same restaurant together. He made them have dinner, have conversations. He put Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre back together after Death Row fell apart and they weren't talking, and to make 2000, all the stuff that happened on 2001 with them too. And bro, it was there like early M, like behind the scenes, so many things, but it's crazy. But so like just listening to what you're saying and talking about what resonates with you with the music, the time period, because even speaking to someone like that, bro, like who lived it, like he literally, you know what I mean? It's crazy. He took like I think 20 years off from the game. He took like 20 years off from the game because of like his grandmother had which I respect the guy for. His grandmother fell over, brother, had a fall, and he was dropped on her door when he was a baby. And then he decided, well, now that it's my time to, look after you now, Grammy. So he did that. Man. Yeah, 100, brother. And for 20 years until she passed away earlier this year, he was still, I think he still had his finger on the pulse, but he was out of the game. He wasn't doing anything, wasn't making music, wasn't putting things together. Bro. But that's he speaks about a lot of that stuff for sure. And like, bro, the conversations like he has, bro, like with people, even his outlook on the way the industry is today, commercially and and independent, brother. It's like it's crazy, man. And with yourself, brother, when did you write your first rap? Because I know you wrote like Doggystyle lyrics and shit like that. When did you write your own rap?
It wasn't too long after the fact of me starting to pen Snoop Dogg's lyrics down. I think there was a sort of step to it where it was like I wrote all his shit down and knew all them flows, and it was easy for me to do. It got easy to do, and then from that I wrote his same flow but switching up the words to my words.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
That's good.
And then from that it just morphed into being able to get creative with my own shit and just coming up with different stuff. And and they were shit raps, you know what I mean? Like,
gotta start somewhere, brother.
Quickly by the time I hit maybe 14, I think at that time I was living with my old man at that time, and
the parents had split.
Yeah, parents split early, like when I was like 5 or whatever. So I stayed with mum till about 12, I think, 12, 13, and then I moved in with my old man. And growing up with mum, it was like mum didn't work, and the old sob story. You're growing up hard, and it was hard times, blah blah blah. But when I moved in with the old man, it was like he worked away. He was working on oil rigs, earning a good bit of money. So we had a computer in our house when computers first came out, right?
Yeah, okay.
So our computer was there. We had a computer desk, and there was a little tiny, shitty little microphone that came with it.
What's this, like Windows 98 or something?
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, Windows 98, something like that. So I figured out that the mic. I figured out how to work the mic, and there was a little recording box that I could use in the computer, and I could record like probably just 40 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds, something like that. Yeah. So I was just like spitting bars and saving clips, you know what I mean? So that was my first little taste of rapping properly. And, I was in high school, and, I'd show some of my close friends that, I wrote this, and I'd spit it to them. But they didn't really give a shit about it. So it was like, the hip hop thing, like all through high school, I sort of, even though I was writing and creating, I didn't show anyone, didn't let anyone know that I was doing that or anything like that until I was about 17. And then I started, 16, 17, I started really wanting to battle people out in the street. If I saw someone else rapping, it was like, all right, let's battle. If I saw anyone doing anything to do with rap, it was like, yeah, let me get involved. And then one day I think I was like 17. I met this guy who is still one of my closest friends today, James Bertolami. Shout out to James.
Shout out, James.
I seen him at the front of a club in Joondalup one night, and this olive skinned white dude, Sicilian boy, and he was rapping some Wu-Tang, right? And I was a big Wu-Tang fan. Like first day of high school, I had a Wu-Tang sign shaved into the back of my head. You know what I mean? So that's
who did it. Who shaved it?
A girl called Anna Kim, and I haven't seen her since 1999.
Anna Kim. Shout out to Anna Kim.
Shout out Anna Kim. She was my sister's friend. She was over one night. We had the clippers, and she was like, "Yeah, I could do that." Bang, she did it. Looked sweet. Went to school. It was awesome. But yeah, man, I seen James at the front of the club, and he was rapping some Wu-Tang shit, and it was something from 36 Chambers, and I knew the verse, so I just jumped in, started rapping with him, and legit fucking dapped him up, and I was like, "Fuck, bro, yeah, I love Wu-Tang too," and we've been mates ever since. A couple of weeks later, I was at his house. I found out that he had a nice setup, and he had some programs, like some beat making programs. And shit.
Okay.
And that was it, man. I learned how to make beats there. I learned how to sample and chop. I really refined my lyrical game, my flow. Everything was like, really built there at his house. We were there all the time, every weekend, drinking, drugs, all that shit, and we just write music, make beats, drink Hennessy and play chess. That was our thing. And yeah, like they were the formative years for me. And then from there I ended up signing to a little independent label from Perth. And
what year is
again, this? By this time it was 04, 05.
Okay.
Yeah, so I signed to a little indie label, and yeah, I really went hard from there, bro, because I had an in-house producer, engineer, proper equipment, had a booth, all that shit, using Pro Tools, original beats. So yeah, I went hard from there. I did a 8-track EP, 20-track LP, and I even played drums for the band that was a part of that record label. And I learned a lot about music there, man. A lot of the music industry, shit that I know came from that label. I learned about contracts and all that sort of stuff. So and then I think I was with them for 6 years, bro. Like, that says it all. Yeah, I was there for a long time, and we did. I mean, I think there was years there where we did over 100 shows in a year. You know what I mean?
True.
So, yeah, bro, we were killing it. We were driving all the way up north, playing every single pub and nightclub we could go to. On the way back down, doing them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, bro. It was really fun. Gave me a taste of that sort of rap life and that music life, that muso life, being on the road and shit. That was real fun. And then I finished up with them 6 years later. I met the missus, wanted to go on and start my life, and
Tell us about that, brother. Met the missus.
Met the missus. Funny again. James Bertolami, the bloke that I told you about.
Yeah,
that Wu-Tang shit. I met my missus at his house. Right, so we boys were having a drink at his house, and one of the boys' missus come round, and she brought a bunch of friends, and my missus was in that group of friends. And as soon as I seen her, bro, I was like, yeah, that's me.
That's you, eh, brother? Yeah.
But,
what's the flavor, brother? What's Mumsy's flavor?
So she's Afro-American.
Oh.
Her old man's Afro-American, and her mum is Irish, I think.
Oh yeah. Back to the roots, brother.
She loves her beer too. So
You're the
She's
best.
Irish, yeah. But yeah, just a beautiful
Well, like
girl.
Guinness? We talking Guinness?
Nah, no Guinness. She loves.
Oh,
She just
bro,
loves
can
it.
you like
Yeah.
Guinness, bro? Guinness, I
I
can't do that,
can't.
G.
I barely fuck with beer at all, bro. Like,
Oh, true.
yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
I like
Guinness, though.
yeah, I like what's it
It's
called?
like drinking fucking Vegemite, brother. Holy
Oh,
right.
bro. I don't mind a good pale ale. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
pale ale, but I can't fuck with like VB and NU Export and all that shit.
Nah. Not the EMU export.
Nah, bro, not the red can, brother.
Not the bush truck, brother.
But yeah, so I met her there, and she didn't want a piece of me, man. And she was just like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" You know. But you gotta understand. Back in them days, I was rocking a fucking blue bandana, you know, big dada, fucking denim jacket, you know, big baggy pants. Like, so she was just looking at me up and down, like, "Come on." Man. But you know, I stayed persistent.
Yeah.
And I got what I wanted.
How long did it take? How long did it take?
Probably about 2 to 3 months.
Ah, that ain't bad. That ain't
2
bad.
to 3 months, and then she came around. You know, we started chopping it up a bit and getting to know each other a bit more. And then yeah, like it was only like a year in, and she got pregnant. So it was like you know, we sat down and we were like, what are we gonna do? You know, like, and we both made the decision to go. You know, she come from a broken home, I come from a broken home, and we both sat down and said, let's try and make this work and give our kid what we never had, right? And I think that was a big moment in both of our lives. You know what I mean? We were still kids, you know, so to speak, and we had to grow together. You know, we spent our 20s together, and now we've damn near spent our 30s together. So, you know, it's crazy, man, and it's crazy that we're still together. I still think of it sometimes. I'm like, we got 2 kids, they're grown. You know, we got a house. You know, like, it's like, what the fuck?
Come a long way from them dada denims, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I tell you what, man. I went to grab that jacket one night to go out, and it was gone.
Oh.
Yeah, it was gone. Years later, she told me she threw it in the we had a big a fire. Like, we used to have a barrel.
Oh, she burnt it.
She burnt that shit, man. She went out there and threw it in the fire. Didn't even tell me. That's why I love her, man. You know, she was like, "Now time to grow up."
Yeah, no, hey, and look at you. We started this whole thing, and you know, you come on here as an artist, and obviously a man, a human being, but straight away, first and foremost, I'm a father and a husband. You know what I mean, bro?
You got to keep it real, man. Got to keep it real. Like, that's the most important thing is your children and your partner that you have them children with. If you don't put them first, it's not going to work.
Love them, my man. So what are you doing now for yourself besides music? Like
so bread and butter wise, man, I'm a painter by trade, bro. So I paint houses. It's a shit job. No one do it. Don't ever go get it.
Why no one do it?
Boring as batshit, bro. But as well, I've been
time to rhyme, brother.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. So it's like shit gets boring when you've been doing shit 15 plus years, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, it earns money.
Yeah, but good time to make some rhymes, brother. When you're fucking doing your thing.
Well, that's it, man. I wanted something, you know. I had to pick something that was going to bring in some money, and I was already painting, you know, all the time with a mate's dad. He gave me a job. And
I thought you meant with a spray can. No.
I do that too. Yeah. But you know, like I just thought, fuck it, I'll go get a trade in painting. That way, I've always got work. You know, I'll never be out of work.
Yeah.
And so yeah, did that, bro. And you know, once again, it was the missus kicking me in the ass, going, "Fucking do something." You know what I mean? Like, and you know, and like you said, it did give me the time to be able to go to work and, you know, rolling ceilings or spraying ceilings or whatever, and coming up with lines I can say when I get home. You know, like, it gave me that freedom, which I love. You know, it's not a job where you have to sit there and cook your brain every day to get done.
Think too much, eh? Yeah.
Do it. And it's exactly what I needed, bro. Because I've never wanted to go slave away to earn money. You know what I mean? I want to earn money doing something simple that's not going to take too much time away from me so I can be the father, be the husband, and be an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, beautiful. How's the artist going today? What's the go with you still releasing projects, all that stuff?
Still releasing, man. Like if you were to ask, say, you know, a record exec or something, they would look at me and tell you I'm a failure and I'm not going anywhere and I don't put in the work and blah blah blah. But
why would they say that?
Because I'm not actively looking for shows.
Okay.
I took all my shit off streaming services.
Oh,
and
why was that?
I opted to go with somewhere like Bandcamp. Right?
Okay.
And this is a good discussion to have, right? Because I have this discussion all the time with my musical peers because they just said the same thing you did. They were like, "Why'd you take all your shit offline?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Look, it's online. You can go listen to it right now. You can own it if you want, but you got to buy it. I get to set my price what I think it's worth, right? Yeah. So it's online. I've set my price. It's there if you want it. If you want to support, it's right there.
Yeah.
But you know, after being on Spotify and shit for 5-6 years, I was like looking at the income and I was like, where's all my money going? What's going on here? You know what I mean?
Talk about it, brother.
Yeah, and I just thought to myself, you know what? It's either I let the industry as it has formed into now with this streaming shit, I let them bend me over and do what they're doing to every artist and I just let it happen, or I do something about it because I can do something about it. People act like they can't do anything about it, right? They can. Take your fucking music off. You know what I mean? Take it down and put it somewhere where you can set your own price. Make your own website. You know, have your shit for sale on your website, or go somewhere like I did, like Bandcamp. You know,
Bandcamp give you a good deal.
Well, put it this way: Spotify gives you what 0.002 cents a stream or something every stream, right?
Yep.
And I just read the fine print on the email they just sent me a while ago, and now they're not even giving you that until you've got 1,000 streams, and then they start paying you that.
Oh, true. So you need 1,000 streams, man.
Yeah, you need 1,000 streams before they even start to pay you. So they're making $1,000 worth, or 1,000 streams worth, first on every song, and then they will pay you. You know, so I started, reading and seeing little shit like that, right? And I was like, okay. I started researching, okay, what's some other platforms and if they're doing shit differently. I looked at Tidal and all that other shit, and it's the same shit. They might give you a little bit more, but fuck off. Yeah. And then I went to Bandcamp and I found Bandcamp and I was like, okay. Started reading into that and I was like, holy shit. These people are letting you set your own price. No matter what it is, you can set whatever price you want.
Yeah.
And they're only taking 20% of the sale.
True.
Yeah, bro. 20% of the sale. So, I sell something for $5, I'm getting $3 out of that, or a little bit more, So it's like, it's decent. At least you're seeing some money, right? Mm-hmm. So I took everything down off Spotify. I put everything up on Bandcamp and I set my pricing. And, family and friends really came through, and shout out to them. Thanks for the support, because that shit is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I seen more money off Bandcamp in 1 week than I did on Spotify in 6 years.
True. Well, there you go, my brother. Make sure you send me that shit too, so I can put that in the description everywhere.
Yeah, I will.
Let's go. Yeah. Shout out Bandcamp, cuz maybe a few more of the brothers need to jump on there from sisters,
I've tried explaining to the boys and the girls like what I'm trying to do with it, but people see the Spotifys and the big artists on it, and that's what they want. You know what I mean? They want that. They want that. Oh, I want to be on Spotify because Drake's on Spotify, Lil Baby's on Spotify. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a big difference. But it takes a lot to get to that, to that level of how much of a machine or juggernaut they have behind them.
Yeah.
When it comes to promotion.
The biggest reason they give me is, everyone's got Spotify. It's easily accessed. I'm like, it's an app. Right? It's a website or an app. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, Bandcamp is a website or an app. And you can stream on Bandcamp. You can buy on Bandcamp. I can sell vinyls on Bandcamp. I can sell merch on Bandcamp. All that shit. Everything, bro. Like you can you can add like little bits and pieces. Say if I dropped an LP and I had, you know, something special for buyers of that LP, I can attach it to the purchase. So if they purchase the LP, they get like a free shirt or a snapback or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually a really good platform, man. And
Who made Bandcamp? You know?
I have no idea, bro.
Bro,
No
whoever
idea.
I'm gonna go find out, and I'm gonna try and get them on the podcast and see if we can
do it, bro. Do it. And you know, I've seen another little place called My Primo pop up. Have you seen that shit?
No, you tell me, brother.
2 guys from Perth have made this app it's pretty much the same thing, but they're adding like little bits like NFTs and all that shit.
Oh, okay, yeah. The digital space as well.
Yeah, and Ice Cube, they've got Ice Cube as an ambassador.
Oh yeah.
So his name's on it. So you know, we'll see what happens. And I just love the fact that two boys from Perth are coming up with some shit like this to help the artists. You know.
Yeah, I think you're right, brother.
There's other avenues out there rather than, you know, like I always say this to the boys. I'm like, if Universal Records approached you today and said, "Hey, can we sign you to this 360 deal?" Everyone knows what a 360 deal is.
Explain it for people that don't.
It's a really, really bad record deal. Really bad, right? No one's going to want to sign that. Spotify is a 360 deal. It's a really, really bad distribution deal. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other way to explain it. Yeah, it's a really bad deal, and it blows my mind how people haven't figured it out and gone, "No, fuck that." The power's in us. If we all take our music down, they're nothing anymore. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't we blow up the place that gives us 80% royalties rather than the place that gives us point fuck all royalties? You know what I mean?
For your time and effort and
and
energy, and because like, let's say you release a project. What's the most recent project you released, brother?
What is my most recent project? I think I dropped a joint project with Tony De Niro that you had on recently.
Yeah.
Meaning did a little 3-track EP, and we've got a little group and it's called Rich Soul.
Yeah.
So we did a little 3 tracks with a producer called Taco Bellinger, and that was the most recent thing I put out. But
when was it? It
was this year, bro. So it was probably like 2-3 months ago.
Oh yeah. So well, let's say people want to tap into that. You know, they're not just 37. Are you 37 or?
I think so.
38. I think so, well, they're not just if they're tapping into listen or to, you know, purchase that music. They're not only just supporting that project, like the little bit of like the few words that compared to all the words you've ever shared in your life or all the music you've ever made. You're also tapping into 38 years worth of life. You know what I mean, brother, to create that shit, brother. So,
and don't get me wrong, like I still got a Spotify page, and you can go there, and there is music on there.
Yeah,
but it's all them little things. There's only 3-track EPs on there. You know what I mean? There's like 2 or 3-track EPs. But if you go to my Bandcamp, there's like 10 releases. There's like a 20-track LP. You know, there's 8-track LPs. There's EPs. There's everything's on there. Like all my shit, all the way from 2004, 2005, all the way to 2024.
Yeah.
So
you own all that shit, brother?
I own everything.
Okay.
Everything. My LP that I did with my indie label back in the day, they own that because that was with the label. But we talked and they allowed me to chuck it up online and sell it and make some money. So, shot to Ricky De Silva because he helped me out with that.
Shout out to the brothers.
But everything else, bro, all that shit's mine. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, I sat here, I recorded it, I mixed it, I put it out. You know, I've done albums with friends that are really good engineers, and they've done my beats, they've mixed it for me, and like I tell them, man, like I'm gonna chuck it up. Any sales, we'll split it down the middle and get some money. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been working, bro. Like I'm kicking myself in the ass that I didn't do this shit sooner. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know now, though, brother. You know now.
Yeah.
And and in this world, like speaking of free shit too, like you're talking to any artist out there. I'm not an artist, but I'm a creator. You know what I mean? Of things. So one, you do have the power, like you said, you can take your stuff off the platforms or do like you're doing and put little things on there, little breadcrumbs, right, to lead them back.
Yep,
But
that's exactly right.
also content wise, like go make some fucking content, create a brand. You are the brand yourself. Like if you're an
That's it,
artist
man.
or whatever, and you
Yeah.
want to, and you're like, oh, I don't know, but Spotify's where everyone goes. I don't know how to get people to Bandcamp. Like, just fucking start talking to the fucking phone or whatever. We all got them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
that's it. That's
and
it,
then if you
man.
don't think you have time, like, brother, 10
Yeah.
seconds of your fucking day, like this.
Yeah.
That's it. Bro.
And, you know, like I love the.
Hey fam, check it out. I got I had a bloody banana for breakfast, and don't forget to check out my Bandcamp. Yeah. 10 seconds, brother. Like
That's it. That's it.
we all have fucking time, bro. And
That's
if
it,
you're
man.
your own brand, and hey, that might not go to anyone, but you just keep putting that shit out. Eventually, someone will go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
bro.
you just
You know,
provide value, man. Provide value.
it's always there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think they could, a lot of people could learn from what you're speaking on, and I love it, brother. In a way, even though like it's not your platform, it's different, brother. You're doing something different, and it's out the box, brother. I'm all about that. I'm all about that, and I love it. And you're educating me, cuz
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
no
I
excuse.
heard that the deals ain't that good on Spotify and that shit
Oh,
too.
right. Well, what did Snoop? Did you see what Snoop said a couple of months ago?
Nah, what do you say?
He had. Can't remember. I think he said 40 billion streams. Or something like a billion streams or something like that. He said something like, "I've got a billion streams on Spotify," and then he said, "Do you know how much money I've got from that?" And the dude on the podcast he was talking, he was like, "How much?" And he was like, $40,000. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Yeah, 40 grand.
Fuck?
40 grand for a billion
True.
streams, man. Like, it's just.
When it was radio days, brother, what was bro? That would have been crazy money, billion streams. Even just on radio, like even in a 360 deal compared to now, like you know what I mean, like
Well, even if like you CDs were $30 back in the day, bro. So even if you're getting $1 from that 30 of that sale, and you sell 2 million copies, you're a millionaire. You know what I mean?
And if your business is right and you know how to manage that shit, you can turn that into tens of millions or hundreds if you want to.
And that's how you got, people like Celine Dion and even Mariah Carey. They're still rich as fuck today. They're not rich as fuck off the money they're making today. They're rich as fuck off the money they made in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Well, Mariah might be getting a few billionaire rings too.
Yeah.
Shout out to brother Pecker.
Big Pecker.
Hey, big Pecker. Hey, wasn't packing enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Celine Dion, and this is the guy talking that's got a 1-inch, by the way. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Yeah. But that's a little thing. Everyone, on so I used to do TikTok, but I like stream on TikTok. I don't. Have you done any live streams at all, brother? Like,
I
much
do
about
live
streaming on TikTok.
I don't do TikTok, man.
Yeah. Well, I used to live stream on TikTok hard out, like a little bit, but that was like sort of the realm that was in for a few years there. And they got like a whole ranking system over there. And I got number 1 over there anyway in Australia and New Zealand, and that's pretty cool if you're in that world. But yeah, fucking at the over there, we always like crack up at like stuff like that, bro. Like Mariah Carey and all the bros, bro. Like yeah. But fucking, could you imagine like? I don't even know like what kind of like those when you're talking billionaires, those fellas live in a whole different world. Like you talking millionaires and this kind of shit. And then I look at some of these like the Sheik brothers in the Middle East, so like they look like they on another world. Even though
they got some money.
Like how do you know? Because I heard someone like one of the Joe Rogan things talking about they're talking about these some of these people over there, like because they're not like a company, or they don't have to disclose their wealth to nobody. These motherfuckers probably worth trillions. They live like it too.
They got unbelievable amounts of money, and this is just being passed down to generation to generation. Like they'll never be out of money.
Brother. Yeah. But I guess that hey, who knows, brother? Maybe create something that's. Have you ever thought of creating an app or anything like that? That might,
Oh, like me and the missus are always throwing around ideas. Um,
Mhm.
like I'm talking years ago, bro. Like probably almost a decade ago. The missus threw an idea at me, which was pretty much Google Translate, right? And we do it all
Oh,
the time. We throw around
yeah.
ideas to people and your partner, and you just joke about it, and then 5, 10 years later, someone does it and is an absolute millionaire off of it.
Yeah.
But the missus threw me Google Translate a long time ago, man, and she always
Yeah.
brings it up. She's like, "Fuck, we should have just followed through with that shit." I'm like,
Yeah. Let's get the next one happening then. When the next
yeah,
one comes, bro.
yeah,
Bro, let's get something there. I'm always trying to think of shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not even gonna say some of the even my old man, actually, I think I get it from my old boy, bro. He thought of something like YouTube even before YouTube existed, brother. Like the
yeah,
whole just sharing videos online and make when like we was talking about like even virality with like I guess what shorts are today, which TikTok sort of blew up the way they are, the real sort of format. Bro,
yeah,
my
yeah.
old man's always been, and then like him and I would have conversations when I was growing up about this shit, bro. Like so much, even Facebook, brother, like the way social media before that shit existed, the bro was thinking of shit
Mm,
like that. Like I'm talking in the 90s when I'm growing up, brother. It's
yeah,
crazy, bro. And
yeah,
that's the
man.
thing, like how many ideas are out there with people, but they just never have the back end or even understand how to navigate that shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Fuck. Have you get any of those ideas? Cause if I can make it happen, let's go,
yeah.
baby.
But that's the
Fucking
thing.
go.
You need capital, right? Even
Yeah,
if you
that's the
get the
thing.
best idea, you need the capital.
Yeah, or well, even capital, there's people you can go to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Out there
But
as
again, they
well.
take half of your shit. If you go to them, they're
Mm.
gonna take a
I
lot
mean,
from you.
half of a bill, half of 100 billion is not too bad, baby.
Yeah, true, true,
That's the thing too. You know what I
true,
mean?
true.
Yeah. Because hey, there's an exchange there. You need the money, you got the idea, or I got the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
it works out. It's like a. I guess when people get when people break up and shit, or get into marriages and they fight over things, or the ladies like, oh, he wanted me to look a certain way, but then she wanted
Hmm.
money. So it's like, bro, there's an exchange both ways. You wanted the money, he wanted you to look a certain way. I don't really agree with both, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's give and take, brother. Who are some of your when you look at for you? Who give me a top 5 rappers that you've seen come out of Perth, like just in your opinion. And there's no
Um,
hate to any brothers you work with. It's just all love. Just in
yeah.
it's all love right now. And relative to now, it could
Top
change
five
tomorrow.
rappers. Look, you got your boys that are making noise that everyone knows,
Yeah.
like Marley Jose.
I don't
He's
even
a
know, but yeah.
yeah. Check him out, man. He's incredible. Very artistic,
Mm.
very
You know
lyrical.
this too?
Don't know him personally,
Okay.
but I first heard him and he was very young. He would have been 14, 15 when I first
True.
heard him. And I was hitting him up on SoundCloud telling him, like, oh, bro, you're good, man. Keep going. And now he's huge, man. He just did Bars of Steel for Triple J
Oh, true.
and he rapped for like fucking 10 minutes straight on 4 different beats. He fucking killed it.
Oh, I might have seen that.
Might have seen Dude with Dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did see
yeah.
that. Yeah,
He
yeah.
is turned into
Yeah,
an
he was ill.
absolute monster, right?
What is he,
Um,
brother?
I don't even know, bro. I don't
Beast.
know. Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. Obviously, Shadow. Shadow. It's always good to see a black fella blowing up from Perth. Like an African brother, like because it's hip hop, and I'll just keep it 100 with everyone. It's great to see anyone blow up and make art and all that. But when I see an African brother in Australia
Yeah.
making noise in hip hop,
That's you, brother. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
it hits me. It gives me the feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So
you,
you got
brother.
Marley, you got Shadow,
Yeah.
and then obviously the boys I fuck with, bro. Like Tony De Niro is a monster. Like he's got some really really great music. Sachiv making a lot of
Yeah.
noise. Dialect's been rapping for longer than me, bro. Like I've known
Yeah.
I've known I've known him since '05. You know what I mean? So
True.
yeah, there's
Bro, that
five
click
there.
track's dope too, eh? Yeah, that's five there. That's five there.
Yeah,
And shout out to all the rest there that are killing it too.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Bro, their click check, even the whole thought to do that, brother, I think it's cool because like you could reach out to the US or someone else for a feature, you know what I mean? But to just put the city on, I really love that,
yeah,
brother. It
bro.
resonates with me, bro. And
Yeah,
even for me, what I'm doing here, and like, this would be, like I said, be like podcast 230 in like 5 months, cuz, and reaching out to some crazy people and having some mega guests. Like, the plan for me eventually is to take this around the world, brother. Like, on stage, but I want to take some artists with me too, brother. And why not from the city? I'm not from here originally, but this is home, bro. My kids are all born here. I've been here for, we'll be clicking up till, I don't know how long it's been on and off for, like, fucking, I don't know, maybe like 17 years. But my family, my dad's been here since the 90s, cuz, since like 96 or 95, bro.
Yeah.
So heaps of my family been here. So for me, like, seeing this place and the people that are here, that have got roots here, and that have growing up here, and putting time here and in the industry,
look,
why not?
You should be very proud of that, bro. Like, what you say, 230 podcasts in 5 months.
Yeah, brother. With some dope people, man.
Yeah, that's a big achievement, man. And I genuinely believe when it comes to this podcasting and internet and all that stuff, music, anything artistic that you're pushing out online, if you're consistent like you have been, there's failure is not in the picture. You know what I mean?
No.
You will get somewhere.
Well, that's probably 90% of failure is because you just stop.
Because you stop.
Right? You only stop when you fail when you stop, right? And
keep doing what you're doing, and you fucking smash it, bro.
Yeah, but like, and saying that though, brother, like, if there's like, one day when there's a Aussie Wild Tour, bro, let's take some fucking, if you fucking have free time, brothers, you want to do some tracks, and let's go around Aussie, just play some music around the place, around the world. Fuck it, why not? You know what I mean? Why be limited by just Australia? You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole world out there, brother. And do you listen to $1 Million Worth of Game? Wallow and Gilly?
A little bit, yeah.
Sometimes,
I like Gilly. He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. But Wallow says something. I seen a snippet a while ago, and he's saying like, what like your some of your people around you might not support you, but like, why are you letting them stop you from like attaching yourself to 7 billion people in the world? You know what I mean? Shit's gonna resonate somewhere, my brother. And if I can build a little vehicle here that can help, you know what I mean, people from all over Australia, New Zealand, like, you know what I mean, but people here where I'm rooted, where my foundation is right now, and home is where the hardest, but home is where you make it, and home is where, for me, is right here. You know what I mean? I'm proud to be from Aotearoa, New Zealand, but I'm also, I say in my bio, brother, I'm Maori blood, but Anzac heart, brother. You know what I mean? Which I think a lot of Aussies forget. Anzac means New Zealand too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, literally, though. And people think, oh, we're in the army. Like, no, it was just my heart is like, this place give me a lot of opportunity too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
My family, so. Yeah, if we can put it on, put the fam on over here, let's go, brother. Let's go. Even doing something like this. Who knows? Like, this is only early days, and we might get 100 views, we might get thousands, but eventually, as this grows, people will always be able to come back to this podcast too, brother. And the Neros, dialects, whoever's, brother, those clips will live on the platform no matter how big it gets, brother. I'm gonna always be me, because I'm still gonna be. I'll still fucking give up my bed for someone and say fucking a family that needs it and sleep on the floor, cuzzy,
And like you were saying, bro, with Dialect and his new track that just dropped, Click.
Yes.
That's not easy to do, man. For starters, like, to get, how many of us were on that track? Like 8 or something?
Yeah, and then extended now too, eh? So how many now? Like 9?
There's more, yeah. So, like, it's not an easy thing to do, getting all them artists together, and record their verses, get the mix down and all that shit.
Yeah.
And let alone doing a film clip and getting everyone in the same room at the same time.
When you're all working too, I mean, everyone's working and got families.
That shows you how long Dialect's been in the game. Like when you've been in the game for a long time and you have a certain pool, you know what I mean? You can't be a freshman and get 10 artists together in the same room for a video clip. It just won't work. You won't be able to pull it off. He's got a certain pull because there's a certain respect around him that everyone looks at him with a certain respect because he's done so much. Yeah. So like even myself, I look at Dialect. I looked at Dialect back in 2005 with mad respect because of his work. He's a dope rapper for starters, and then I was a fan at first, but when I met him personally, I noticed that he was also a dope human being. You know what I mean? So, like, for him to pull that off and get it done, like, mad respect to him, man. Like, And the clip's dope. The song's dope. Sonny's on the beat. Another dope producer in Perth.
We got Sonny too, brother. If you can, know him a little bit.
Sonny had a verse on that song too.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like producer who can rap or a rapper that can produce. Woo.
From Perth and everybody's from WA.
Everyone's from WA.
Yeah,
bro. Like you see that mixtape here?
Yes.
That's my second mixtape I released back in 2012, I believe, or 2013. Mm-hmm. That's called WA.
Wow.
Yeah,
bro. But that's what I think is cool, man. What was that, brother?
I got a trilogy, WA Volume 1, 2, and 3. So like WA,
where do they find it?
It's tattooed on my neck, bro. Like WA's always been like that's my shit. Even though I was born in Angola, I was raised here in WA.
Yeah, starting with Karratha and boom.
Yeah, bro. So like WA is my shit. You can get that mixtape on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, baby. Check it out on Bandcamp.
Check it out on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Go to my Instagram. Just go to my Instagram. Go to the link in my profile, and it'll take you straight there.
Bandcamp, fam. Go check it out. But just back to circling back to dialect, brother, and what you said about to pull that together, bro, and and fuck, it's dope, brother. But the vision to envision it, the respect, of course, years in the game, but you know what I mean, and respect is earned, right? You know what I mean, respect is earned, bro. But big like I did it, even we did that night, so I gave him his flowers in that little pod, little yarn that we did, even again, brother, to bring the city together when you could go other places or just not even do it. You know what I mean?
And he could. He's got ties in the States. He's got a song with Boys 5'9". He's got a song with Karratha. He's got a song with Cypress Hill.
That's
right. He could have gone there and did that, but he chose to keep it in-house and choose the MCs he thought was dope at this time to fuck shit up on his track, which was dope, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. But then it's a testament to the man and all of you individuals for having that love and respect, and then also coming with the bars, because what I mean. Right. Can you kick a couple or even just that little 8 for the people in case they know?
Let's see if I can remember it.
Wow.
So this is the 8 from the clip. So I say something like, "This that beat obedience, frequency to median. Me and Diggy been rhyming since before you put the CDs in. Taping niggas up was a part of the ingredients, never lenient. When it came to flow, the shit immediate. These social media rappers is tedious, intermediate, busting jokes in their rhymes, fucking comedians. I ain't gonna beef with a vegan that don't use seasoning. These deviants can't fuck with my art. This shit bohemian." That was my
8. Bro, that was a dope 8 too, brother.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, 100%. It was playful too in a way, brother.
I was playing with the words, and it's only 8 bars, so you got to make it like interesting,
Yeah, nah, solid. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here? I got a couple real quick questions, but you might even.
No, bro. Like, if you got some questions, ask away, bro.
All right, brother. Have you been back to Angola since you moved here?
That's a negative.
Do you plan on doing it?
I do plan on doing it. I keep in touch with family out there, even family that I've never met, or only met when I was young and I can't remember. Yeah. We're still, we know that we're blood, and they really want me to go over there, and I have to go over there soon, ASAP. I just want to go over there. I want to see my family's farm. I want to help them work on the farm. I want to get to know my aunties. I want to get to know my uncles. See my cousins. I got like a bullshit amount of cousins over there.
It'll be dope for your daughters too, brother. And even
that's the thing too. Like even the missus, we've got to go to Cleveland as well, because she was born in Cleveland, but she's same with me. She came here when she was very young. She's never been back. So we want to show the girls, that side of her family. We want the girls to understand that this is us, this is our family here, but there's a whole nother place over the other side of the world that you've got a bunch load of family there, and there's another place over the other side of the world that you got a bunch load of family there too. I think that would really open our eyes, open all of our eyes up to to just a little bit more, about this world. You know what I mean?
For sure. You can only listen to 3 artists for the rest of your life, brother. Which 3 do you choose?
There's a guy called Ill Conscious. He's not like well known, but he's an amazing artist, and the things he speaks about in his raps could carry me for a very long time. So he'd be one of them. Nas would be another one.
Yeah, one more, baby.
For sort of the same reasons, and one more. What am I really fucking with at the moment? Right, it's a hard one. I'm trying to think about it because I don't want to say something and remember something later and go, fuck, I should have said him. Got to throw in Tupac, man.
Yeah.
So much material, so much
in such a short time.
Yeah, and so much different emotion, that'd carry you. If there's 3 people I've got to listen to, I want them to be very well rounded, and I think that them 3, Tupac, Nas, and Ill Conscious.
Ill Conscious. Where's Ill Conscious from?
I think he's from Baltimore.
Hey,
yeah.
Shout out Puck.
Right, there you go, yeah.
Shout out Logic.
That's it.
It's Wale on it. Wale from Washington. Well, close enough. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wale from around there. If someone was to ask you, what does WA look like, or what does it look like? What does it feel like in a sentence? WA, obviously, it means a lot to you.
Okay. In a sentence. Pretty beaches, pretty women, and good weed.
Let's go. And for all those prying ears out there, we're talking about the ones in the garden, mate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I like it, my bro. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what do you choose? Every day, you eat this meal.
It'd be a meal that my mum makes. It's called feijoada.
Feijoada.
Yeah, it's a Portuguese dish, but she put a little Angolan twist on it. And my missus, before mum passed away, my mum, yeah, shout out mum. But before she passed away, my mum and my missus got real close, and they were always in the kitchen drinking wine, talking shit, cooking food. Yeah. So everything my mum cooked me growing up, bro. Like all them soul food meals, my missus can cook all that shit.
Woohoo!
So, yeah.
Tell the sister I'm coming for feet.
She'll cook in the house, and everyone will be thinking about mum because it smells like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's amazing, man.
Nostalgia, eh, brother?
Yeah, bro.
It's hope that they had that connection before she passed, brother.
Yeah, it was really
you think about when you have grandchildren down the line and shit like that. They can, that lineage in a way can carry on.
Exactly.
Beautiful, brother. Superpower besides the ones you already have, if you wanted to create one or even just pick one that's already out there, which would you choose?
I want to fly, bro.
Yeah? What's the reasoning?
Different perspective.
Oh, bird's eye view, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just freedom. You go for a swim in the ocean and you look around and it's open and it's free. Imagine being in the air. There's a lot of air up there, right, before you hit space. Like that flight. I get asked that quite a lot, and it's always flight.
Flight, brother. I like that. It was a sharp answer, and a dope reasoning. I haven't heard that before. Like the reasoning why. You know what I mean? I've heard fly just go to a place faster or something like that.
Yeah.
But the view and the freedom. I like
the freedom, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on. Give me visualization 10 years from now. What does life look like for 48, nearly 50-year-old Universal? Me
and the missus on a beach in Jamaica, living off grid, eating good fruit, eating good food, and smoking the czar.
I was gonna say, brother, the chalice,
drinking the rum. Like that's something me and her have talked about since our early years. We've already said by the time we're that age, we're going to be in Jamaica, relaxing, feet up, we've done the hard yards. Our children are grown. We've got the house. You know, all that shit. So we're flying to Jamaica and living a comfortable, quiet life.
Beautiful. Any advice, brother, for any artists out there wanting to doing this
Um,
music thing? They haven't released anything yet, though, but they're working on it, and they got the skills. But they're listening to this and they're like, bro, I
okay.
really like this dude and what he speaks about and a lot of stuff that he's
Yeah.
spoken on. It resonates with me.
So if you're an artist and you're out there and you're great at what you do, and you know deep down you're great at what you do, but you haven't gathered the energy to really put something out there, my advice is to stop being a bitch for starters, and just for real, man,
Bitch!
stop, because
Yeah,
it's what
fucking
it is.
knife.
It's fear.
Fucking knife.
That's all that's stopping him.
That's
It's
it.
fear.
Simple.
Stop being a bitch, put it out, and keep putting music out.
Fucking knife. Little
Yeah, bro.
bitch.
Yeah,
Let's go. Put it out, you
because
little bitch.
as soon as you stop being a bitch, you'll see you put something out and you'll be like, oh, and the relief alone is worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just keep, it's like a snowball. You keep going from there. So just stop being a bitch and put it out.
Nah, I like it, bro. Because like you know what, like me a year ago probably needed to hear that because I planned to
Yeah,
do
bro.
this for like 5 years. I just
Yep.
never did it. I listened to podcasts for like 12 years. I've listened to podcasts way more than I've listened to music over like not in the early days, but like the last 10, 12 years, yeah, way more podcasts.
Yeah.
Like knowledge for me is everything. Obviously, you can soak
Yeah.
up knowledge through in game through music.
And what did you feel like when you finally put out
When
your
I
first
finally
podcast?
Yeah, I didn't feel like no bitch.
That's right. That's right.
I just felt
That's right.
I felt free, brother. Like actually, I don't know if you, but I'll tell you the fucking story anyway. While we're
Yeah,
here
tell me,
quickly,
tell me.
I was gonna knock myself off, brother, a year ago after I got #1 in TikTok and all of this, which I had sort of strived for a couple of years. I didn't give a fuck about the money, brother. It was literally just to do it, just to say like, fuck, we cracked it. You know what I mean? Because over there's a lot of reasonings why it took so long to do it. Like a lot of shit,
Yeah.
a lot of politics, and you know what I mean. If there's sort of certain clicks over there, and if you don't vibe with them, they sort of try to report you and all that kind of shit, heaps of stuff. But so we didn't end up, cracking it for a while. We cracked it 2 years in, finally #1 in all the rankings. And like I thought, for me, that was what I was striving for. But
Yeah.
I was 2-3 days later, I think I was about to rope that up, brother. Dang it. And I was like, what? And then my son woke up crying, teething, and you got 2 daughters, brother. You know what this shit's like.
Yeah.
Probably nieces too, nephews. But I went to go sort them out, and I thought I'll go sort them out, and then I'll come and finish the job. And then in doing that, when I'm holding him, bro, I'm like, bro, the tears just falling down. The bitches, releasing. And I'm saying to myself, what the fuck is the problem? Like, there's a lot of shit in my life right now that I've created that I don't like. You know what I mean? There's me being, and just a lot of it's just me not pulling the trigger on a lot of shit. So when people go, oh, you're working crazy, like it's too much, I'm like, nah, because I'm making it for lost time. And also, it doesn't feel like fucking work. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? 230, brother. But like, I fucking enjoy it. Like, you know what I mean? This is my 6th today, and fucking, bro, this was on. You know what I mean? I fucking loved it. So to me, I decided that day to put in daily deposits from that day forward, which was a year ago, like last week, into becoming into starting a podcast, the first launching and getting rid of the inhibition, that little inhibition that I had and just start it, do it. So I made the decision January first week of Jan, I'm going to launch it, no matter whether I'm doing it by myself or with the squad that's with me or whoever. I'm going to launch it. I had and when I say podcast, it's not just about doing interviews. Like an interview style was one of them. I also wanted to do shows, like different shows with different people. I also wanted to watch sports because I love rugby league. I also love basketball so much. So I wanted to create shows around those. We're going to start the basketball in the next season. Obviously, playoffs now. If you're a basketball fan, NBA fan, we're going to start in the next NBA season. But we started one with rugby league, and when and following my team, with my homies, we started that. That's been going good. I started a couple other shows. Like there's like a quote show with a sister of mine, Maddie, who you met as well. We've been doing that for like 14 weeks straight now, every week. And another brother of mine, Samoan dude, on Māori, just poly dads connecting on their vibe and just shooting the shit and talking shit, brother. But like, so that's been like 12, 13, 14 weeks in a row, brother. And then I have other plans. So more than just a podcast, more like a fucking network in a way, what I wanted to create, right? And the interviews are a part of that journey. But yeah, so I decided January first week, and I did, brother. I launched January first week. I did daily deposit all the way till then, and I'm only a baby in the game of podcasting, but it's been years of consumption, years of wanting to, and I also did live streams on like Instagram and TikTok, like huge live streams for years, where I'd pretty much do this, but I never turned it into a podcast. Like I just talk to people for hours and different people all over the world, because you can push a random button and you just randomly get someone from Africa or someone from Korea, and you can have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? Or that's what I would do anyway. I just yarn. So in a way, even though I did launch in January, like I've been in the game a long time with it. And also I went to, when you spoke about like going around and you only lived in the house for 4 years, I was 27, brother, and the first time I ever lived in a house longer than 13 months. I was 27 years old. Brother, I went to 17 different primary schools. So I resonated with that a lot, brother, about that never being planted and always just moving. Yours, at least, like I guess yours was around like, neighborhoods that weren't, what I mean, were within, what I mean, driving distance. I'm talking all over New Zealand, even over in Australia, moving all around, even as an adult till I was 27, brother. I just moved. Yeah. And it took me till I actually was planted. Because I think inside of that too is probably for me was, a lot of it was like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Always on to the next thing. So for me to now be finally, I feel like I'm living my purpose, brother. Like, people be like, oh, you're making money from that. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, yeah, we need money in there, but like, I'm sweet. Like, what I'm doing is I'm doing what I fucking want to do. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I want to do, brother. I'm driven. And I'm, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm living my purpose. And as I'm doing it, more and more shit's starting to happen. The connections that are starting to happen, even this little connect, like, you know what I mean? And see, being able to put all these Perth artists on here as I start, make this thing skyrocket by just my consistent work ethic and everything you've done and put into your journey. Hopefully I can help add to that, and bring some little ears to it, brother. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal, brother.
Shout out to your babies teething that night, because, that shut down that shit you were about to do. And I can see now that you are in your zone and you are doing exactly what it is you want to do. You are fulfilling your purpose. It's written all over your face, bro. The amount of energy and life in your face when I watch your podcast, it's obvious that this is what you are here for.
Yeah.
So shout out to your baby, man.
Very shout out to my boy Zaire, man, my man. Hey, little African name there, Zaire. Well, it's Portuguese too, but like, you know what I mean? It was Zaire, Rumble in the Jungle, baby. Ale Bumoye. But yeah, thank you, my brother. So this is your podcast, though, my brother, and this won't be the last time we sit down. At all. This will be just the first of many. Well, actually the second, but you know what I mean? First proper one. And I look forward to whenever there's projects coming out, cuz even if you need us out sooner, because I've got heaps backed up, but I can pull it forward if I need. Otherwise, I'll just put it in
bro. You know what?
In the journey.
I'll let you know something that no one else knows.
Okay.
Only the people I fuck with.
You want me to push stop on the recording, or no? You're gonna
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll let you know now, and everyone else can hear it later. I've got an album coming out later on this year.
Yeah.
So when that's ready and I'm dropping, we'll get back together.
Let's get back together and talk about it, and then we'll release it around it. Yeah, sounds good. But I'll see you I'll see you at the. I'm sure you'll be at the click. At the album launch for Dialect.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
I'll see you there, brother, and I'll probably see you before. If you ever need me too, brother, after I'll close it up and we'll exchange digits too, brother. So if you
all good, bro.
All right, big love, my brother. I just want to say, time's the most valuable commodity we have as human beings. The one thing we can ever get back. We can always get back money, things, but time spent is time lost. So thank you, brother Universal, for sharing your time with me over an hour and a half, really, and for even waiting for me, brother. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful, man, and I hope people take value from this for years to come on whatever platform they hear it, brother.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this full episode of Mind the Mic. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to create these episodes. So to know that you've watched and listened to the entire thing means the world to myself and all our hosts. If you could, before you leave, please hit the subscribe button and share this episode out to as many people as possible. It would help us so much. Thank you again to everybody that's still here, still watching. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all the DMs. Appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Have an awesome morning. Have an awesome night, depending on where you are in the world. Mind the mic out.
Oi, have you hit the link in bio yet?
Watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all streaming platforms.